Hello and welcome to Lakers Live pregame show presented by the Ultimate Sports Show. Joined as always by my crew, my wonderful, talented crew here, Medina and Manny. We have been through a lot with our Lakers team in the last few hours, we should say the least. Obviously, we are sorry to everyone that's a fan of the show. We weren't able to have our wrap from the last game, but we're gonna talk about this, and that's what makes us who we are. Obviously, guys, it was frustrating. It was, Lakers just did not play great at all. They didn't play terrific. The turnovers were high.
Oh yeah.
They probably lost to the one team that they didn't. We thought Detroit's loss, losing to Detroit was bad. Losing to the Kings, 110-106. What do you guys think's going on with this Lakers team? They just, they're just looking lost on the court. It lost on defense and lost on the turnovers. I think honestly, some of it has to do, I think, with obviously reacclimating LeBron to the team, putting him back together with it. And, I think that'll definitely kind of help them out a little bit, but they just look lost. They just did not click at all. And it was, it was frustrating, really. It was frustrating to see them lose that game.
Yeah.
My opinion, guys.
Let it all out.
I know. I'm doing it. Okay, let's do this shit. Sorry. Back to what I was saying. It's the three-point shooting, guys. That has been abysmal. And I mean abysmal. It has not been the best this year. We've all mentioned that we're not a three-point shooting team. But what did the Lakers do? Because get ready. I'm going to be talking about the stats from last game. And they're not pretty.
No.
KCP, 0 for 5 from 3. Anthony Davis, 0 for 4 from 3. LeBron James, 1 for 5 from 3. Dennis Schroeder, 0 for 5 from 3. And Ben McLemore, actually, Ben McLemore not bad, 4 for 3. That's the problem, guys. We take way too many three-point shots. And we had to lead that game. We were actually up, I think we were up by 10 points in the fourth quarter. And then we just took a huge nosedive. We got outscored 32-18 in that fourth. And it's an ugly loss, and the reason why, not only because that we gave away the lead and we shot really bad from 3, but the bad loss is basically because the Sacramento Kings are not only a under 500 team and are eliminated from playoff contention, but also because they did not have their main guy. They did not have De'Aaron Fox. So I was looking at this game before it started, and I'm like, this should be an easy win. No De'Aaron Fox. We should be winning this game by at least 20 plus points. But we ended up letting a rookie, and I'm not calling him a scrub because Tyrese Halliburton can play. But really, Lakers, we really let a rookie named Tyrese Halliburton dominate us with 23 points and 10 assists. It should be better. And to get Rashawn Holmes, and Rashawn Holmes is not a bad player. He's been a very good player ever since he joined Sacramento last year. But is he really the type of guy that can get 22 and 9? No. Absolutely not. And the fact that we let Terrence Davis get 15 points, Marvin Bagley, who hasn't played in when? I think the last time he's played was last year. And he ended up looking solid. He shot 4 for 9 from the field. It's the fact that we let a bad team look good. That's the problem here. That's the moral of the story. And the fact that we let these random Lakers, not random Lakers. We let the Lakers end up letting these random guys on the opposing team end up getting career highs on us. I guarantee you that was Tyrese Halliburton's best game of his career. That's the reason why we lost. It's the same stuff we keep talking about. Medina, the floor is yours.
I'm kind of tired of the Lakers giving the spotlight to all these rookie players. Don't get me wrong. I know everyone has to start from somewhere, but I don't want it to be because the Lakers keep allowing it to happen. I'm not sure where our defense is at. I know this was LeBron's first game back, and I'm not going to bash on him for it, but he had a pretty good game overall. Reading his stats, he had 16 points for his first game, and Yeah, he did shoot 1 for 5, and he had 8 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, he had a pretty good game. It's just I to be honest with you guys, I did not watch the majority of that game. I tuned in like for the last couple of minutes, and when I saw LeBron take that 3 point shot, I was very shocked because one, like we're not a 3 point shooting team. Like we keep saying that. Like we were not hot with our 3 pointers at all that game, so I'm not sure why he felt the need to take that shot. Two, like LeBron, he's not really a clutch player when it comes to 3 pointers, especially the last few seconds of the game. I feel like he could have just drove it in. And even if he didn't make that shot or whatever, the layup, he would have probably gotten fouled most likely, and we could have tied the game and went to overtime. I mean, the last time we had gone to overtime, I believe it was against the Jazz a couple weeks ago when Dennis Schroeder went in for that layup and we tied the game and then we won in overtime. And that's literally the same exact thing we could have done with the Kings. I mean, like Manny said, I think we should have won by at least 20 points. I mean, like they didn't have their guys. We're playing against the Kings and we had our team back. And I mean, I know like everyone's a little rusty right now. Everyone's learning how to play with each other again. Like, I mean, AD's been getting better. He's been looking more comfortable out there. He's been getting more aggressive. So I love seeing that from him. But like, it's LeBron's turn now. Like, LeBron has to also like come in and he needs to start learning how to play on the court with, and like everyone needs to start learning how to play with each other again. I know that it's not going to be like an easy first game, but I was still expecting a little bit more from them just because they were going to get up against a team like the Kings. I mean, I feel like we should have easily won that game. There should have been no struggle. We had the lead. We should have kept the lead. I mean, there's really not much more I can say to that, but that, you know, like our turnover rate was terrible. I believe we had like 21 turnovers, and it's just, yeah, like George is saying, frustration all around. And I'm tired of seeing the Lakers lose. I'm tired of our defense being terrible at that last quarter, or like, and I'm tired of us taking 3 pointers. I just feel like our team could do so much better. I feel like there's so much we can learn from, especially with LeBron and AD back now. I mean, soon there's not going to be any excuse to why we are losing these games. We have our guys back. We're just waiting for them to get a little more healthy. But I mean, other than that, like I'm expecting a little bit more from this game today. I really hope the Lakers can just get this win so we can get our confidence back and start winning all these other games, because I am not looking forward to being in the play-in tournament. Like, how do you feel about that, Aaron?
I was kind of just thinking that I was gonna kind of get into that. You know, you have to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself also. Shout out to Vince here, always in the comments here. Appreciate you, man. But you know, I was gonna even say, you know, the Lakers are right near having to actually have to doing the play-in tournament. Um, you know, we don't want to see that. I mean, look, we know this team when they're fully healthy. We know that they're a great team. They're a championship contending team. Um, you know, this also, you know, I was thinking about it too, as you guys were saying, your inputs was all very good information as well. And I was thinking about this too. I said, you know, it kind of reminds me of how we started in the bubble, and that's what most people forget. Is like we absolutely like played 8 games. I think it was 8 games or so of a restart to kind of get your legs back, and we played terrible. I mean, that was probably the worst basketball they had played all year. And yes, mind you, you're getting your legs comfortable again. But now, you know, I kind of figured it out and said, look, they're playing like how they did when they started entering in the bubble. You know, the last 8 games of the regular season, trying to get themselves together. Okay, now fast forward to right now. It's going to be the last few games of the year coming up. It's the final stretch of games. This matters because the Lakers put themselves in this situation. Obviously, the injuries, there's nothing you could do about it. It's part of basketball. You know, there's plenty of other injuries that have gone on, unfortunately, this year and affected other players. And you know, you just got to keep playing hard. And Lakers just really let their defensive presence down that they had in the games. Vogel's very defensive minded, which makes him a great coach. It's not his fault. The team, we're not talking on defense. You know, we're not getting back on the transition end. We're not turning offense to defense. We've been slow. We've been turning the ball over way too much, which was a problem. I know Medina. I know you're going to touch on that. Just having some camera issues. But you know, you for instance, like in the last game, you turned the ball over 21 times in the game. It's just not acceptable. I mean, yeah, you have your team healthy. you gotta get yourself ready to go. I'm not gonna hold so much of a grudge on LeBron because yes, it was his first game, but you know what? I think he'll be fine. You know, it's just like Anthony Davis, or Media's just having some technical issues. He'll be right in. But I honestly feel like Manny. I think that the Lakers just got to figure this out by getting healthy. That is the biggest thing for this team to work, and for them to be healthy is, you know, that's how they're gonna talk. That's how this team is gonna play better. And that's how you're gonna shut haters up because I mean we know they draw more hate than probably us and the Celtics probably draw the most pretty well hate right now. And obviously you throw out Brooklyn, everybody that's high playoff potential now is all a big threat. And you know what? The way to shut people up is to play ball. And you know, Lakers just got to clean up their act. And you know, I want to see this team shake off this rust because we're not used to this. You know, they're a great team. They should be somewhere in the 3rd seed or the 4th seed right now, but their just defense just broke down.
And it broke down, like you said, because of injuries. But we are healthy now. That's the good news. But the problem is we just got healthy. That's the reason why I'm noticing something different with this Laker team, and I'm sure you guys can agree with this. Chemistry, something is off chemistry-wise just because we've been injured for so long. So now, like, LeBron and AD are finally playing with each other for the first time last game, for the first time since, like, February 14th when AD went down against the Nuggets. So now, like, chemistry is, like, totally out of whack. So now, like, LeBron and AD have to learn how to play with each other. Now they have to learn how to play with Drummond, who just joined. They have to learn to play with McLemore, that just joined. So now it's going to be hard. I'm with you guys 100% on that. Like, I don't hold much grudge against LeBron either because it was his first game back since the Atlanta Hawks injury back in March. So of course he's going to look a little rusty, but I don't feel like he had a somewhat of a bad game. He shot very bad, but if you look at his stats, actually, he had 16, 7, and 8 that game. So it's not like he looked terrible, but he just didn't look like LeBron. The problem I have, and the one knock I have on LeBron's game, you guys, is the fact that he cannot shoot free throws. That's the problem I have with LeBron. So, like, let's just say, like, the game is tied with like, a few seconds left, and you need to ice 2 free throws to win the game. LeBron's probably going to miss both or make at least one. So that's the problem. I feel like LeBron's game is all right. I'm not really worried about LeBron. But if he, like, gets the free throws down, I think I have no issue with LeBron whatsoever closing out games for us. And the fact that even AD, I know AD didn't shoot very well, and he hasn't shot very well since he came back from injury. We all know how bad he shot against the Mavericks on the Wednesdays and the Saturdays that we played 2 weeks ago. But it's gonna get better. I feel like it's gonna get better because now they're fully healthy, and it shouldn't be bad. I'm very confident with our team when this team finally gets the chemistry back.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I feel like ever since AD's come back, it's thrown the team off a little bit. I'm not trying to bash on AD whatsoever,
Exactly.
of course, but I think just him coming in, kind of like it's like everyone's readjusting to how to play with the big guys again. And I said this too. I'm like, when LeBron comes back, we're gonna see the same thing with that too. We're gonna see him and AD struggling to play together again until they get that back, that rhythm going for them. I mean, AD, I feel like, in my opinion, I didn't really watch him last game, but I mean, I'm reading his stats. He did have 22 points and he did have 11 rebounds. So, I mean, I feel like he's been getting better and he's been, like, more aggressive and playing with more confidence. I'm not sure how he was playing the last game, but I know he's just been getting better and better from what I've been seeing. And I feel like for LeBron's first game back, he did fine as well. It's just that I just didn't appreciate that last second shot. I feel like he knows better than to take a shot like that when we're down by 2 points, when we could have easily tied the game. But we've already touched on that. We said what we needed to say. But someone else I want to talk about last game. He played for 22 minutes and he only had 2 points and 2 rebounds. I'm really disappointed in Kuzma right now. I feel like there's so much potential in him and I want to have faith in him. And every time I feel like I start trusting the guy, he lets me down again. And I'm not sure what's going on with him. I mean, I want to see more from him. I want to see him, like, Manny's mentioned this so many times about Kuzma. And if you're having a bad shooting game, that's fine. You're not going to always be hot. You're not going to always be shooting those threes. It's fine, but at least grab some rebounds. Contribute to the game somehow. Kuz, you're supposed to be our third guy, but you're not playing like one, and you're being really inconsistent, more than consistent lately. And we cannot start you off in the playoffs like that. And I remember him how he was in the playoffs last year, and that's not the Kuzma I want to see again. And like I just feel like I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure if it's because AD and LeBron are back. He feels like he doesn't have to play as hard anymore, and I hope that's not the case because we know that Kuzma's a good player. We know what he's capable of doing, and I want to see that from him. I want to see more from our team, and like. I mean, looking at these bench players, like their stats from the last game. I mean, I know we can't expect as much from them anymore because like we have our big guys back in the game. We have our starters now, but I still like I mean looking at his stats like Montrez, he played 14 minutes and he had 9 points and 3 rebounds, which is not terrible, but but Markieff Morris played for 14 minutes and he only had 3 points and 1 rebound and he shot 0 for 1 at the 3-point line. I mean, I just want to see better from our bench players. I feel like we are capable of when we put our bench guys out there, I feel like we can expect so much more from them now because we saw what they're capable of doing without LeBron and AD there. So they need to step it up too. Just because they're back, it doesn't mean that the rest starts slacking off. We don't depend on Drummond and AD and LeBron to take over anymore. We all have to play as a team, and we need to find that chemistry back soon. And I know, like Aaron had pointed this out earlier, when we came back and started the season in the bubble, we had a really hard time like playing as a team. Like our chemistry was so off, and we lost most of those season games until we came to the playoffs. And we started winning, thankfully, and I'm not sure what happened, but we turned it around, and that's exactly what I'm expecting for them again to happen soon. And I hope it starts tonight because I'm so tired of watching my Lakers lose. What do you think, Aaron?
You couldn't have said it any better. You know, not only were you right with when it comes spot on with the bench. Laker bench. I was seeing this in the Sacramento game, which was very frustrating to see. They had a point in the game, I think, where they met 2 minutes, I think, in the game. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was like 2 minutes in the game or so where the bench was in the game. There was no LeBron, no AD, no Drummond.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't score a single bucket in 2 minutes. There's something really wrong if you can't score the basket and you can't be making quality shots without your stars in there. That's when Sacramento said, hey, you know what? You just gave us some confidence boost right there. And that's plain and simple what they did. They gave Sacramento a chance to say, we can get in this game. We can beat this team right now. Doesn't matter what our record is. We can go out there and beat them because they're not healthy, and we're going to make them pay in the paint because that's what we do, and we're going to hit some threes on them because they don't score threes and they can't make threes. And, unfortunately, that's how it goes, and it's the team. The team needs to look at not only an overall, just overall talks with everybody and just say, hey, guys, like, look, LeBron and AD and Drummond are all together now. Obviously, do you need to point out health and safety protocols were affected by Dennis Schroeder tonight, so he is unavailable to play, and we hope he's okay. But, I mean, the main guys are those three guys. That's who the Lakers want to turn to because they said, okay, cool, LeBron is back. We're going to go resort to him. We're going to resort to AD. We're going to resort to Drummond. Well, when they come out of the game, you have to give points. You have to get back to this team. That involves Kuzma. That involves Markieff Morris. That involves Montrezl Harrell. That's the whole entire team. Caruso, too. I mean, Caruso, even in the bubble, too, he was great. And obviously we know he's been banged up. Caruso didn't play in the last game due to back spasms. But we just got to get back to a winning way where you're not reliant to say, LeBron's out for a rest. Let the man rest. Let him sit down, catch his legs under him. Let AD come out there and score at least 15, 20 points. Help your team, give them longer rest. And that way you're not sitting there like, well, here we go. Frank Vogel's calling a timeout because Lakers just blew a 10-point lead. And that's exactly what happened. They had a lead. They had a double-digit lead when LeBron came out of the game, and it went from them having a double-digit lead to them being down by 4 at one, and LeBron finally had to check back in the game. So unacceptable with our bench. Unacceptable how the team's been playing. You just gotta fix it, and that starts tonight, right, guys?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Absolutely. But what I want to say is that I know we didn't have LeBron and AD for like 3 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
we weren't playing great, but we were playing like 500 basketball. I feel like now the reason why we're struggling is because we're back to that basketball system where we started off where we had in the middle of the season. We're relying on LeBron and AD way too much. When we're relying on them, like our mentality basically as a team is like we'll just let them do everything and we'll take a step back. Yeah. You can't do that if you're playing a basketball game. You have to have all your guys step up. It's not like it's a one man sport like golf or tennis that's like you just rely on one guy to win the game. You need 5 guys on the court to win for you. So if LeBron and AD are not playing great, we gotta have Dennis Schroeder step up. I know he's not playing tonight, but I'm talking about in general, you guys. I'm saying like Dennis Schroeder has to totally step up. Montrezl Harrell has to step up. I like what you guys said about Kuzma. Where has Kuzma been? He has not been himself lately.
Yeah.
And I'm upset about that because one thing I always bring up, you guys, is the fact that we kept him off the AD trade because he's supposed to be that guy, that young guy that's supposed to be the 3rd star of the team, and he's looking lost. Personally, like I've said as a joke many times that I blame it on the blonde hair, but like
I don't think it's a joke anymore.
Maybe, who knows?
Maybe it could.
Yeah,
maybe it could be like an inconsistent thing that blonde hair. Maybe it's like a curse. I don't know what it is, but I don't know what's going on with Kuz. He needs to be playing hard, and George, exactly.
Yeah.
He's been slacking. He's been slacking real hard. Like he's not making his threes. He's not making his twos. Like I like that Medina brought up in 21 minutes only 2 points. Look, I love my Lakers to death, but I don't care, guys. When my team is playing subpar, I'm going to call them out. I don't care. Yeah. I love my team to death, and if they're playing horrible, it's going to be bad. And another thing, George. Yeah, I don't care. Ever since he went with the blonde hair, he hasn't been good. I don't know.
You know it's true, George.
Exactly. We know it's true.
Go back to the brown hair, man, and then honestly,
or the black hair.
George, watch what happens. Ready? Kuzma's gonna dye his hair brown the first few games of the playoffs, and I'll call it now, and we'll have this documented right here. He's gonna have like 25 points in the game, 25, 30 points in the game because of his brown hair.
And if we're wrong, we owe you, George. We owe you. If we're wrong.
Exactly.
Or maybe it could be the Puma contract. Who knows?
Yeah, there we go.
The Puma shoes.
So, obviously, I mean, you guys have been right about Kuzma. I mean, he's, I just want to see him wake up. It's like, do other things, though. I mean, just don't worry about being a scorer. I would, honestly, like, I think you guys would agree with me, too. I'd rather see Kuzma tonight go out there 10 to 15 rebounds in the game and like 7 assists and like maybe 10 points.
Exactly.
I don't care about him scoring. I just want him to be active other places. Help your team where help is needed. They need help. Lakers don't need help necessarily with scoring. Our biggest thing is our passing. We haven't been moving the ball.
And our defense.
And our defense.
And the defense too. And, I feel like if the Lakers had like a guy like Kuzma, who yes, he can score. He's not been consistent, but a guy that could be another leader when LeBron is not in the game and say, hey, let me get these guys going. Look, we don't have Schroeder tonight, and we're gonna get in the Toronto game in just a second here, but we don't have Schroeder tonight, so already LeBron is gonna be the primary ball handler tonight. And, this is where Kuzma's got to be right now near him. He's got to say, look, you're out of the game. I'm going to help run this offense. Me and Caruso, we're going to come out here. We're going to get this team rolling. We're going to get a lead. We're going to have a double-digit lead for them. and we're not going to need you to play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's a fantasy.
I mean,
It's true.
it's ideal. It
It's
is the
ideal,
Toronto
yeah.
Raptors.
I agree 1,000% on that. And this was a funny one. Can you imagine?
You never know. I mean, you never know what he might do. I mean, he's got a pretty good contract with him, so you never know. He could end up being a bald-headed Kuzma eventually, and then really get his scoring going. I mean, hey, look what happened to Kobe. He shaved his head, and look where he ended up being. So obviously
From Froby went to Kobe.
Yeah, exactly. So let's obviously get into the Raptors here. There was some news. YB we've been on. OG Anunoby for them is out tonight with a calf injury, so that changes things. So LeBron, the guy that would have typically guarded LeBron tonight, is out. Obviously, Manny, we're gonna get you into this. The Raptors, yes, banged up still. They could still put you up numbers. Yes, they're 26-38 on the year. But you know what? You can't hold this team for granted, because even though Fred VanVleet is out, this team can still put up numbers.
Yep, that's absolutely true. By the way, shout out to everybody in Canada. Shout out to everybody in Montreal watching. I know there's a lot of Raptor fans over here, and also 6 hours on the 401 to Toronto. There's a lot of Raptor fans, but there's obviously one guy on the Raptors that I need to touch up on. Hold on, let me let this load for a second. There it is. Pascal Siakam. This guy's an all-star. He is clearly the heart and soul of the Raptors right now. He is averaging 20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, is 62nd in the NBA in PER. Yeah, this guy is legit. We really need to watch out for Pascal Siakam. He's a star. And the fact that we have AD and Drummond in the paint, they can definitely stop him. And that's big, because if we didn't have those guys, I'd be very worried about this game, because we wouldn't have any paint protection, and he would just feast up on us. Because if you look at the stats just playing us, like out of all the careers that all the games in his career that he's played the Lakers, he's been a monster. 27 points, 7 rebounds. He shot 86% from the free throw line. And he shoots 35 from 3. A big man that can shoot 35 from 3, that's always dangerous. So we really need to tighten up on him, because if we don't, it's going to be a horrible game, in my opinion. But the good news is that Fred VanVleet's not playing, but we obviously need to watch out for also Kyle Lowry. We need to watch out for Fred VanVleet. We need to watch out for also their new acquisition, Gary Trent Jr. He's been absolutely something. So we can't just look at the Raptors and say, like, oh, they have a bad record, because they got a squad on their hands. They just been dealt with a lot of injuries and a lot of COVID issues. So if we want to win this game, we really gotta like watch out for all those guys, because they are deadly.
Also, I just want to point out real quickly, I feel like we still have some beef with the Raptors from the last game that we played with them, and a couple of our guys got fined, suspended, whatnot. So I feel like they're going to come out and want to play their very best tonight against us again. So I'm expecting this to be a tough game. But I mean, one thing I do want to mention real quick is I feel like even though we have Drummond and AD, I feel like they've been lacking in defense in the paint, because I know like our last game, we let them score like at least 44 points on us. Correct me if I'm wrong, on us in the paint. So we need to stop letting that happen. First of all, like we have 2 big guys on that floor now. There's no reason for us to be scored on so many times in the paint. So I want to see that. I want to see that defense become a little stronger between the 2 of them first. And then second of all, I just feel like I don't know. I just need to see more from the Lakers tonight, and I just feel like this is the game to do it. This is a game where we get that win and we just gain our confidence back, and we don't let them outscore us in the paint. And I just that's all I want to say about that for now. What about you, Aaron?
Well, I think Vogel obviously Vogel had to make a change as well. Lakers lineup tonight to give everybody an update. It's gonna be Caruso and KCP, obviously LeBron, Davis, and Drummond. So obviously, I think with already that lineup, I think that's gonna help already. Manny, I know we know what Caruso brings to this team. We know how he could score. He's a great passer. He's a great defender. I think it's a great move, and I think it's going to kind of help. He can help the team out because, I mean, obviously, he played a lot with the starters where they're mixing and matching throughout the bubble where he ended up playing more than specific players and so on and so forth.
Shout out to my Italian boy, Alex Caruso. He's not the type of guy that basically shows up on stats, as everybody knows. He's the type of guy that if he's there, he orchestrates that whole team. And I know we haven't really seen that like this year because, he hasn't played much. But from all the other years he's been on the Lakers, he's showed up a lot on the court. So he's a very good player. He's able to like show a lot of competitiveness on the court, a lot of tenacity on the court, and that's what I love about Caruso. So we really need his leadership skills because I know he's not a veteran, but he's been in the league for about 4 years now. So we're really gonna need his leadership skills to really show up tonight because he's been a good mentor off the bench. If you noticed, to some of our young guys like THT. So I really want to see Caruso really show up big, at least get 10 points, 7 assists because like you mentioned, Aaron, he's a very good passer. So passing, I'm not really worried about him at all. So 10 points, 7 assists, maybe shoot 45% from the field. I could see a game like that from Caruso if he gets minutes. I mean, he's healthy now, but if I'm just seeing if he gets major minutes from Frank Vogel, I would like to see that from him.
Yeah, I agree. Do you guys want to get into players to watch or keys to the game?
Yeah, let's get right into it. Keys of the game. Manny, what do you got?
Keys to the game. It's very simple. We have to contain the monster when he plays the Lakers, and that is Pascal Siakam because, as I mentioned, the guy averages 27 a game in his career against the Lakers. And that's one guy that we need to watch out for because not only is he an all-star, but like I said, the guy can shoot 35% from 3. And one thing that I actually like in the NBA is big men that can shoot. Those are so valuable. I know shooting is valuable in the NBA, but when a big man can shoot, because it's very unorthodox to see a big man shoot, but when you see them shoot, it is a big deal. Like guys like AD, and I'm not saying Pascal Siakam's like AD, but he's a big man that can shoot. So we really need to watch out for that because not only can he drive to the lane, but he can also drive. We could also shoot threes. He could also shoot long twos. And that's the thing that we really need to watch out for. AD and Drummond really need to be on their game tonight when he drives in the paint. They need to literally swat that out.
Couldn't have said it better myself, man. He's completely spot on with all of that right there. They really do need to play better defense in that paint because we cannot have them outscore us in the paint again. That's just unacceptable. The only keys I would say, let's try and keep our turnover rate 10 or less. None would be amazing. I feel like if we can just have a better handle on the ball, we should have a good game tonight. No sloppy passes, no, just play better, no turnovers, because I feel like that's where we lose out on most of our points. And then if we have a lead, that's where we lose our lead.
Yeah, I would definitely say I think Medina's having some technical issues.
Issues on Medina.
Yeah, but I will say my keys to the game as well. My keys to the game, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, communication. Get the communication on both sides of the floor, offense to defense, defense to offense. Talk on both sides. That's where the Lakers really struggled with that area of the game in the last 6-7 games or so, and that gives us to our players to watch. So Manny, who you got?
My player to watch, is my boy that's been playing very, very well since he like got out of his slump, and that is Montrezl Harrell. I'm hoping I see a big, big game from him off the bench because I don't know if I ever mentioned this on the show, but he's number 2 in the league in 6 Man of the Year voting. Obviously, number 1 is Jordan Clarkson because he's been dropping like 30, 40 points a game off the bench. But Montrezl Harrell's been getting like some double-doubles off the bench. He's been blocking a lot of shots. He's just been brought so much energy. Like, besides LeBron and AD, Montrezl Harrell, in my opinion, is the heart and soul of the Lakers. He brings so much energy and so much excitement. Like, we saw the dunks, the flashy dunks he does in the paint, and that's what I love about him. And if he has a big game like tonight, I'll be very happy. I'm going to go with actually, I'm going to say probably like 22, 11, and 5. I see Harold doing that tonight against the Raptors.
All right. Also, we know Medina just had some technical issues. She'll be joining us later on for the post-game show, but we know, everybody knows Medina loves Anthony Davis. That is her guy, so she's going with him tonight. Big. I would even say probably at least 25, 30 points in the game tonight. Got to get it done. My player to watch tonight, I'm going with the big man as well. No, I'm not talking about Marcus Gasol. I know everybody knows I was Marcus Gasol guy. I'm going with Drummond, man. I want to see this guy come out here, dominate. I want to see the good old school Shaq moments of, if you're not putting out at least 25 and 10, you're not doing enough. I want to see him do more, be aggressive more, offensively, defensively, at least 25 or 30 points for him and 15 rebounds, and I'd be solid with him. But that is going to do it for us for Lakers Live pregame show presented by the Ultimate Sports Show. For Manny, Medina, and myself, I am Aaron, signing off. Catch us later on after the game tonight for a post-game show and wrap up and a little bit around the NBA.
The NBA.
We will talk to you guys then. Enjoy the game, everybody, and we'll see you soon.